We follow an unfolding battle between humans and an invasive force unlike any other. Feral pigs. Highly intelligent, brutally resilient, and capable of turning entire landscapes into war zones. This is not a legend. This is not exaggeration. This is happening right now. Here, in the south-central region of the United States, lies Oklahoma, a land of endless plains, golden farmlands, and deep agricultural roots. For generations, nature and farming have existed side by side here, shaping both the land and the people who depend on it. But beneath this calm surface, a silent invasion is underway. A shadow moves across the fields, not cast by clouds, but by an invasive species that threatens the balance of the entire ecosystem. These shadows dig, destroy, and multiply at a terrifying pace. They are feral hogs. In Oklahoma, this is not just an inconvenience. It is an escalating ecological and economic crisis. According to the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation, between 600,000 and 1.5 million feral hogs are currently roaming the state. That number is staggering, and it continues to grow. But these numbers are not just statistics. Behind them are shattered crops, ruined soil, destroyed irrigation systems, and farmers pushed to the edge. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that feral hogs cause up to $116 million in agricultural damage every year in Oklahoma alone. Entire fields can be destroyed overnight. Corn, wheat, soybeans, nothing is spared. Feral hogs root deep into the soil, tearing apart crops before they even have a chance to grow. They trample fences, contaminate water sources, and displace native wildlife. Deer, ground-nesting birds, and smaller mammals are forced out of their habitats. For farmers, this feels less like wildlife conflict and more like a four-legged pandemic. What makes feral hogs especially dangerous is their intelligence. These animals learn quickly. They remember locations. They adapt to pressure. And once they identify a food source, they will return again and again, bringing the entire sounder with them. So how does Oklahoma fight back? One of the most widely used offenses is large-scale trapping. Heavy steel traps are placed along known travel routes, baited carefully and monitored closely. When successful, entire groups of hogs can be captured at once. But these animals are not easy to defeat. The largest boars have been documented smashing through reinforced steel panels. Agile hogs leap over fences higher than 7 feet. Smaller hogs squeeze through gaps barely wider than their heads. Even worse, the ones that escape learn from the encounter. They remember the smell of the bait. They recognize the shape of the trap. And they pass this knowledge to the next generation. Over time, trapping becomes less effective, as hogs evolve faster than the systems designed to stop them. And when traps fail, farmers are left with only one option. They must hunt. Reluctantly, the farmer becomes a hunter. Not for sport, not for trade, but for survival. And this is where the real confrontation begins. When the smartest and strongest hogs evade traps, a more direct solution becomes unavoidable. This is the moment when agriculture turns into warfare. The farmer becomes a hunter. This transformation is not taken lightly. Most farmers did not grow up dreaming of hunting invasive animals. But faced with relentless destruction, they are forced to adapt, just like their enemy has. Unlike recreational hunting, this process follows strict strategy. The hunter does not target the closest hog. He does not aim at the slowest. Instead, his focus is always on one animal, the leader. Within every sounder, there is a dominant force. Often it is the largest boar or an experienced matriarch sow. This animal leads a group to food, teaches escape routes, and senses danger before the rest. Remove the leader, and the sounder collapses. Once the target is identified, patience becomes the most important weapon. Hunters commonly use semi-automatic rifles, chambered in effective calibers such as 5.56 millimeters or 7.62 millimeters, legally permitted by state wildlife authorities for controlling invasive species. These firearms provide accuracy, reliability, and the ability to respond quickly if the herd scatters. Technically, these rifles can reach targets at several hundred yards, but ethical hunters prioritize precision over distance. Most shots are taken under 150 yards, ensuring a clean, humane kill. The hunter waits. Breathing slows. The crosshairs settle. One shot. When the leader falls, chaos erupts. The sounder explodes in every direction. Dirt flying, bodies colliding, squeals echoing through the field. In those few seconds, a skilled hunter may engage additional targets, removing multiple hogs before they disappear into thick brush or tree lines. It is fast, intense, and unforgiving. But sometimes, the hunt presents a moral dilemma. What happens when the dominant animal is a pregnant sow? To many outsiders, this feels disturbing. But wildlife management does not operate on emotion. It operates on consequence. Feral hogs are classified as destructive invasive species. There are no protections, no seasonal limits, no exemptions. This reality mirrors disease control in livestock farming. When an outbreak occurs, ranchers may be forced to cull entire herds to prevent wider devastation. Sparing a single animal risks restarting the cycle. The same logic applies here. Allowing a pregnant sow to escape means 10 to 12 new hogs will be born within months, each capable of repeating the destruction. For ethical hunters, the priority is never cruelty. It is control. A swift, precise kill that minimizes suffering while protecting farms, ecosystems, and future generations. This is not about victory. It is about containment. And even then, the battle is far from over. The war against invasive feral hogs in Oklahoma is not a short-term mission. It is a long, exhausting battle with no clear finish line. Every time progress is made, nature pushes back harder. Feral hogs reproduce at an alarming rate. A single sow can give birth to multiple litters every year, and within months, piglets grow strong enough to roam, dig, and destroy crops on their own. What looks like success today can be erased by tomorrow. This is why no single method can solve the problem. Trapping alone is not enough. Hunting alone is not enough. True control requires coordination. Wildlife agencies monitor movement patterns, deploy large-scale traps, and analyze population growth. Farmers report damage, track activity, and protect their land. Hunters step in as a final line of defense, targeting the animals that escape every other system. Even with these combined efforts, the cost remains enormous. Beyond agriculture, feral hogs tear up riverbanks, contaminate water sources, and accelerate soil erosion. They destroy native plant life and force local wildlife out of their natural habitats. Diseases carried by these animals threaten livestock and pose risks to human health. The damage is not temporary. It reshapes entire ecosystems for decades. For farmers, this conflict is deeply personal. These fields are not just land. They represent livelihoods, family legacies, and survival. Every night brings uncertainty. Every footprint in the mud is a warning. Every successful hunt brings only brief relief, because the threat always returns. This is the difficult reality of invasive species management. There are no perfect victories, only constant pressure, responsibility, and difficult decisions. Ethical control is not driven by excitement or cruelty, but by necessity. A swift, precise action today can prevent far greater suffering tomorrow. The battle against feral hogs continues across the United States. It is fought quietly, far from headlines, by people who understand what is at stake. As long as these invasive giants roam free, the struggle between destruction and preservation will remain one of the most challenging conservation battles of our time.